pieces, a repeated E flat with the chords either side. It just was making funny noises. And we tried, the tuner tried. So we pulled out another piano that was already there. It had the most beautiful E flat in the world. So I'm afraid we recorded that variation on the other piano because we were running out of time and we had to. No, it doesn't finish there though. So that was edited and finished, and I sent it to John and said, you know, is there anything you'd like? And John is extremely fussy about performances, and he tries to be at every recording session, even if it means flying halfway across the world. And he said, oh, Stephen, but this passage, I didn't mean it to be that slow at all. It has to flow. Oh, no, we can't possibly release it. Oh, what are we going to do? So we had to go back and redo this passage that was much too slow. I think it was actually what he'd suggested in the score, but maybe he changed his mind. But by that point, we had a third piano, of course. So that performance, I don't even think he knows this really, has 3 different pianos, and no one has ever noticed. But now, if you hear it, you'll know.
So in your recital next April, you're doing, as well as the Debussy pieces, you're doing some of the great mountains of the piano repertoire, Chopin ballades.
Yeah.
So much so that you probably know this, that the editor of The Guardian wrote a book recently about the challenge of playing, I think it was the G minor ballad, wasn't it?
Yes.
And as a pianist myself, a very, very lapsed one, I've never actually got beyond the first 3 pages of the G minor ballad. But what are the challenges of those pieces? I mean, they're just so expressively challenging, apart from anything else, technically, I guess.
It's interesting you mentioned that book. I'm actually outed in that book as wearing a pair of pink Crocs. Because when Alan Rusbridger came to interview me for the book, I happened to be wearing them in the house, so I can never quite hold my face up in public. No, but it's actually a sandwich, this program, because I've played the 4 ballades before, and it's quite common to see them played as a group, because they're 4 very different pieces, even though they share a kind of common narrative thread and highly passionate, intense. It's incredible music. Within 10 minutes, it's like an opera. You have so much. But usually they're played either as the complete second half normally, or the complete first half. And I'm splitting them, so I'm starting the program with Debussy, then I'm doing ballade number 2 and 1, then the interval, then ballade number 3 and 4, then more Debussy. So you kind of, I think maybe you're able to focus on them more as individual pieces. They were not intended to be played as a cycle. They were written at different times in his life, and this idea of playing the complete anything is a very modern phenomenon. Even with these pieces such as, you know, the Schumann Fantasiestücke, for instance. Schumann never thought they would ever be played as a set. He imagined they would be picked out, and you'd have a song, and you'd have one of the fantasy, and then you'd have some chamber music, and you'd have another one perhaps. So sometimes I think we almost get into a way of hearing pieces only in these cycles, and it's quite revealing to get outside of them, because we realize that a piece like the first ballade stands on its own unbelievably solidly. It doesn't need 2, 3, and 4 to come after it to have a satisfying musical experience. So you'll get a little bit of a division with this program.
Of course, we're seeing you. Oh, sorry. Yes.
2 minutes to the concert.
Yeah. Does anybody else need to go to the concert? Does anybody?
Well, I was actually going to go.
You can.
I'm actually playing now.
Yeah, he's not playing.
I'm not playing.
I've got your ticket, Stephen. I can give you your ticket so you can go in a minute. Can I ask you one more question? Yeah. Can you just tell us about the concert you're playing this season? In fact, you're doing a concerto this season with the RPO. That's right. That's
right. I'm playing the Saint-Saëns' 5th piano concerto, which has the subtitle "The Egyptian." It's a wild roller coaster of a ride if you've not heard it before. It's a wonderful piece. The second movement has all these exotic scales, and there's a little bit from China too, and a Nubian love song. Then the last movement is an early bit of ragtime. 1905 the piece was written, and it's like it's sort of, you know, Paris was the centre of the world, and probably was it the World Exhibition, I think, that year, and so it's full of colour. It's like a whole, not a picture postcard, but 10 picture postcards. Great fun, and of course with Charles Dutoit's conducting, who's it's central to his repertoire, this the French stuff. So I'm really excited about that concert.
Well, I just want to say thank you very much. I'm going to walk over there and give you your ticket for the concert, and then I'll come straight back. And for anybody who's able to stay, I'll just give you a brief introduction with, I hope, a little bit more music to next season. So just give us a couple of minutes.
Thank you.